Morning, ¿cómo está? How are you all? Hope you're all well. Simon here again in the beautiful Philippines. You can see behind me it's quite sunny today and it's around midday, 36 degrees give or take, so it's still quite hot, even though it should be coming into the cooler period, but it's still quite hot in the Philippines. So welcome again. Thank you to all of you who have viewed my recent videos about our new home, about the solar system, and about the Philippines province life. Welcome to you who are new to the channel. Hope you find it interesting, informative, entertaining. You never know. Speaking of life and lifestyle, I thought I may spend maybe 10-15 minutes talking about my personal history, my personal career. So you can see from the thumbnail, and it may shock or surprise certain people, but to go from being homeless to being a CEO of a global company in 5 years, that is absolutely true. Absolutely true. So let me rewind, if I can. My career has always been spent in the corporate world, and I guess my career really kicked off was around 1995 actually. 1995 when I joined a tyre manufacturer in the UK. And what's quite interesting actually, I actually applied for the job as a regional sales manager for the southwest part of the UK, and I got a letter back saying that I hadn't been successful and thank you for applying, blah blah blah, and I thought that was it. Around 3 months later, I saw the same job, same position advertised, so I applied for it and I got an interview, which I couldn't believe. I finally ended up getting the job, and I spent a wonderful 12-13 years with that tyre manufacturer in the UK. And that manufacturer of tyres supplied vehicles such as Aston Martin, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Land Rover, TVR, and they also had a racing division. And even today, Avon Tyres, who I work for, still supply a lot of the racing formulas in the UK, but also around the world. So in '95, that's where my career started. And a wonderful 12-13 years with those guys, but I always kind of wanted better things, so I managed to secure a job as a director of a local tyre wholesaler who would import tyres, and we would distribute around the UK and that kind of thing. So I did that for a few years, and it was in 2009 I actually went through a quite difficult divorce after 21 years of being married, and that really affected me for at least 6 years. And as a result of that divorce, mentally I wasn't kind of strong and quite weak, and so I was in and out of jobs, not many, and it came to a point where basically I lost my home. I had no money, and I was homeless. For the first time in my life, I was homeless. So whatever age I was at the time, 40 or 41 maybe, I was homeless. So yeah, it was a very, very tough part of my my life. Now, in my life, I've always been positive. I had a fairly rough upbringing. I had a stepfather that used to come home and from work drunk and used to smack my mother and smack me, and it wasn't a nice childhood. But like we say in the UK and around the world, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and I truly believe that. And I've always had this kind of drive in me to better myself, but saying that, I was average through school, very average. I didn't go to college, I didn't go to university, and I kind of fell into the retail environment, but thankfully I did land that job with Avon Tyres in 1995, and that really helped me mentally, in my life. But going through that divorce in 2009, 2010, yeah, it was a rough period. Now, I had a friend in the UK that went to work out in the UAE, in Dubai, and he asked me if I would consider going to Dubai to work and to live and to work for him, still in the automotive industry, in tyres. I don't know what it is with rubber. I don't know, I've got this thing for rubber. Not sexually, mind. I've got to say that quite quickly. Yeah, so still in the automotive industry. So that was in 2013. I almost didn't go because I was so low in my life, homeless, sleeping in the back seat of a very old Saab 9.3. Mentally, I was at the lowest point in my life, and I almost didn't go, even though I saw this as a wonderful thing that could happen. Mentally, I don't know, I was struggling, but I'll never forget this. I was talking to my son Ben on the phone, and he really did kick my ass verbally, and said, "Dad, you must go. I won't like it if you don't go." And so it was because of him that I did go to Dubai in 2013. Had a wonderful first year working in Dubai. I was covering all of the Emirates and countries like Qatar, Oman, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, all the GCC countries. So I was single for 1 year whilst in Dubai, and that's where I met my wife Cherry. Amazing, yes? It just shows how life can turn around and one day to the next. So going on to my career still, I was approached by a company, again, another tyre manufacturer, if I would consider going back to the UK to start a new company on their behalf. And I didn't plan to go back to the UK, but my wife and I thought about this, and I thought this would be a good chance to kind of like run my own business, even though it wasn't my business. And so I went back to the UK, starting from scratch, zero. Basically, starting from nothing. I had to find a home, start to lease a car, start to find offices, starting to employ people and staff, and then we started to import that brand of tyres into the UK. And in the first year, we turned over £1 million revenue and made a slight profit, which was even better because we didn't plan to make profit in year one and year two, but we made a profit. So the owners were just overwhelmed and very, very happy. I was with that company, I think, 3 years, and because our industry is very incestuous and everyone knows everybody and people talk about people, blah blah blah. I was actually approached by a company called Pirelli. Now I'm sure many of you may have heard of Pirelli tyres. They're a premium tyre manufacturer that supply original equipment to, oh my god, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, yeah. So I was quite shocked, but in a nice way. I'm very privileged the fact that they approached me to become managing director and CEO of Pirelli Tyres commercial division for the UK, Ireland, Iceland, Norway, Finland, Sweden, basically all the cold countries. So I'm going from working in Dubai, which is very, very hot, back to the UK, which is on and off, hot and cold, 4 seasons in one day, to managing all of the cold countries. But anyway, after I think 18 months being with Pirelli UK, I was promoted to Chief Commercial Officer based in Istanbul in Turkey, managing all of Africa and Middle East, approximately 74 countries. My team was made up of manufacturing, distribution, sales, finance, marketing, IT, all those departments. I think it was in excess of 200 people, I think it was at the time. And I genuinely really enjoyed that position. So I've gone from the UK to Dubai, back to the UK, to Istanbul. I'm basically traveling the world. So when I kind of recall where my career started and where it kind of fell down at the lowest point to where I became CEO, and now as a consequence was able to save sufficiently to retire at the age of 55. I don't know, can you write that? I mean, I guess it happens. It did happen to me, but I'm genuinely, I don't know what the word is, but I still feel very privileged that I did come through that rough patch. And for those people that are going through a rough patch now or did in the past, take each day as it comes. There's always a better day, always a better day. And although at the time you may not think it or feel it, there's always a better day. And I always had this business goal to achieve MD title, CEO title by the time I was 50 years of age, and I did it. Luck, possibly. Experience, possibly. Personality, possibly. I think there's many things why things happen in life, but you have to create your own luck in life. Make that phone call, send that email, make that connection on LinkedIn or in business or your personal life. Just try and make life as good as it can be for you, where you are and your situation. So going back to the thumbnail, that is absolutely true. Homeless to becoming CEO for a global company in 5 years. If I can, anyone can. As I said, I've always been average, no college, no university, just high school. So I think I'm doing something right. I did something right, because as I said, in that short years that I became CEO, I did manage to save enough to build our new home here in the Philippines. I did have a number of pensions in the UK, private pensions, but also company pensions, of which I can benefit from those pensions once you become 55 years of age. I'm not at that age yet to receive my government pension from the UK, which is age 67. So I'm a few years away from that yet. But we can easily live a happy life on my private pensions. So I guess this is me kind of reflecting where I've come from, which was the northwest part of the UK, and a few of my friends who are on YouTube will confirm this. The northwest part of the UK, you don't live. Well, back then, you didn't live. You just survived. And I guess that does make you stronger to a certain degree. So, yeah, if I can, anyone can. I sit here today with no mortgage, no rent, no electricity bill too, because we are 100% off-grid solar. I have a beautiful, beautiful, amazing wife who's been very supportive of me. I couldn't ask for more. I genuinely could not ask for more. I'm healthy-ish. My wife is healthy. My son is healthy in the UK. My daughter is healthy in the UK. But life cannot get any better than this. Can it? You know, I mean, okay, maybe I'm easily pleased. Maybe I am, but when you fight for something, you know, whether it's to find the right job or to find the right partner, and being a kind of underdog most of my life, when you achieve something, my God, does it feel good. Wow, does it feel good. So, as always guys, I genuinely appreciate you watching my videos. I'm slowly getting a bit more comfortable doing vlogs, and genuinely, I'm not used to talking about myself. I feel it quite uncomfortable, really. Even though I can stand in front of 1,000 people and do a presentation, that for me is easy. But doing this, it still feels a bit alien. Talking about yourself and your personal history, that kind of thing. So I really genuinely hope that anyone watching this that is going through a tough time, there's always a better day. Always a better day. So thank you guys for watching. As always, I do appreciate it. Speak to you all again soon. Bye for now. Thank you.